I've been really enjoying these, recording these videos and sharing the information we've been discussing with you. And today we're going to continue talking about um, love lost, grieving for that matter. So we established certain um, several losses. We've identified several of them. All you have to do is just go back to previous videos and refer to them in prior conversations. But did you know that loss of trust, uh, loss of safety, loss of one's body, physical or by way of sexual abuse, are all grief issues? Or a culture or society, right, might not recognize them as such, but they are indeed grief issues. Okay, so loss of trust events are experienced by almost anyone and everyone, and can have a major lifelong negative impact, negative grief impact. So you may have experienced loss of trust in a parent, for example, loss of trust in God, which happens even to believers, loss of trust in, any other relationship, brother, sister, friends, you name it, the list can go on, co-workers, the list could go on. So is loss of trust or betrayal a grief issue? Well, indeed, it is. The problem of dealing with grief, the grief that it causes, remains the same. It's the same effect. Grief is normal and natural. Now, you've heard me say that before, and I want to repeat this again because it's very, very important. Grief is normal and natural, but we've been ill prepared to deal with it. And that's just a fact. Okay, so grief is about a broken heart. Your heart is broken, okay, and it's not about a broken brain per se. It basically affects a heart, and we've been trained in this culture to intellectualize a lot of things. In this case, um, with the head, it fails because the head is the wrong tool for the job. Okay, it's like trying to paint with a hammer at you. It seems to me a rather messy affair. So almost all intellectual comments are preceded by the phrase, don't feel bad. Someone recently shared that they were told they were having a pity party, or what's the word? Snap out of it, that sort of stuff. Comments like that, okay? Most of the comments that grievers hear following a loss, while they may be intellectually accurate, are emotionally devoid of feeling. And so, as a result of those conflicting ideas, a griever often feels confused, frustrated, hurt, okay? And what that does is eventually, well, they back away from these individuals because it's a threat. It comes across as a threat to them. The people that are saying these things are probably not intentionally meaning, obviously, to come across as cold, but it comes across that way. And so some grievers just choose to, which basically pushes them deeper into their grief and depression, for that matter. So, since most of us have been socialized to attempt to solve everything, intellectually, grief remains a huge problem and can create conflict even between people that really love each other. So, I'm not saying that intellect is totally bad. Obviously, you're listening to this program and or even watching, and that involves some intellectual activity. And the point here is not simply to converse, which is very important in the process as well, to have a space to be able to find people that identify with how you feel and that it's okay and you're okay, you're not doing anything wrong, you can grieve, you're allowed to grieve, it's perfectly natural and it's normal, okay? So it's nice to find that space, but also in this space, I explain concepts that urge you to action. And well, I would say that some intellect is involved in that process as well. So intellect is not all that bad, but when it comes to grief, really, you know, it's about a broken heart and not a broken brain. So it calls for a lot more feelings than intellect. So we'll continue this conversation and we'll move on, work towards the plan that we talked about. How do we successfully, for lack of a better expression, deal with this? Stand in the pain and learn. Does it get better? How do we use this pain to do better in the world? Because ultimately, that's what it's about, really, you know, going through the pain and helping others that will surely eventually have their turn in, you know, with this, and who, because of society and how we are in the society of not talking about grief or dealing with it, when that happens to people, they're ill prepared. So then, you know, how do we support each other? So thank you for joining me. This is Minute with Hug. I will continue in the next installment to talk about grief and recovery. See you next time.